So the Shayla, Anthony, and Amber story continues to evolve. Well, where we last left off, um, Amber was worried about losing Bar 44. Well, a lot of things have transpired uh, with all that going on, and it's a lot, y'all. Man, it's just one thing after the next. But what hasn't really happened is where Anthony and Shayla has pretty much paid for anything that they're doing at this point. Right now, the two of them are living their life. Um, while Amber is kind of stuck in her sorrows a little bit, but they did give her a little breakthrough when she went to go talk with Wayne about Bar 44 and hoping that he would save her from uh, possibly losing Bar 44 because they no longer have their liquor license and bills weren't getting paid. But Wayne pulled through for her and said that he would help her out because, he still cared for her. And although there were kids there when he was talking to her, he did mention that, I am partners with your husband and I know what's going on. So, we are business partners. But in the end, Wayne still got a thing for Amber. Amber truly was that one for him that he let slip right out his hand. And we noticed since he found out the information he wanted about Anthony, he has not been back over at Shayla's house, right? And Shayla, I mean, he hasn't been back at Perry's house. And Shayla is now in her feelings, all about Amber because she's worried. Seriously now, because although she been having her conniving mother guiding her this whole time on how to keep this man that is not even hers to begin with, even though she does have a child from him. Um, Anthony actually reached out to the pastor, and of course, Pastor Chris was telling him, you're not the first and you definitely won't be the last to make a mistake. Now I'm sort of a little confused as to what baby they was talking about because Anthony never mentioned a baby, but I do know Pastor Lewis knows about the baby, so maybe, that information got to him because when Anthony questioned him about does he know, he said, normally this type of information isn't given, but it's stolen. When it's given to them about what's actually going on. But Pastor just really needed to hear from Anthony's mouth. So maybe he do know, maybe he don't, maybe he's talking about David. Not really sure. But what he did tell him was, the devil's gonna put temptation in front of you. Sometimes you might fail, sometimes you might push through. But in the end, you're still a married man. And um, even though this is y'all having hard times right now, y'all could possibly work through this, if you keep God in your forefront. So basically, he was telling him to get back into the church in order to save his marriage. And if he trusts in the Lord, then the Lord can bring him even through this mess that they're going through. But I'm not really sure, like I said, if Pastor really knows about the baby. So, of course, he tells Shayla that he spoke with the pastor. Now, Shayla's truly in her feelings because although you got the bad advice from your mother, he got the Lord, he got the best advice from the pastor. And although pastor was showing him how temptation could try to get you because Perry was beautiful in his eyes and he did not hold back to let everybody know how he felt about the way she looked. But he basically was showing that even he too can have temptation, but he got to hurry up and get on up out of there because he ain't finna fall for it, devil. Get thee behind me, Satan. You're not finna use my weakness against me because I'm a happily married man. But while he was there, Perry asked him about Wayne and does he think Wayne would be would Wayne ever propose to her? And at first, Pastor didn't really know who he was talking about until old Anthony busted out and told him what it was, who it was, and of course, Pastor had to keep it real with her. Yeah, I don't think that one's going to work for you, honey, because he's just not that type of man. Although he gave it to a real Perry, just really don't want to hear that because she just truly wants Wayne. She wants Wayne to be that man for her, but what she will soon find out, like all the rest, that he isn't. Now, the one that had him very close to making a commitment was Amber. And now they're interacting back with each other. I'm finding it funny because I would have thought maybe he would have visited her on this lovely day of love to see where her true feelings lied with him. But since Anthony has told Shayla about his meeting with the pastor, oh Lord, Shayla is not as confident as she's trying to portray that she has him. Although she told him, I don't feel like you would leave me for Amber and go back to her. Now, of course, first he said, "You don't really?" Okay. And that was a little bit of honesty from him to her, but she just brushed it off as, "Boy, stop playing." But he was really showing you that he don't know exactly what he's going to do. But he will continue to lie to you as long as you're giving him what he want. Because here's the thing, everything's out in the open now, and yet he's still at Perry's house. That should tell you something huge there. If he truly wanted to be with you and be with just his son and have a family, then he would move in with you all until everything's worked out, and then he'll move y'all into the house or whatever house he gets. But it's not happening that way because you are the side piece and he ain't trying to make you his main. He's just telling you what he needs to tell you in order to keep you where you're at. Well, now we're here today. I'm about to say October. Now we're here today, February 14th, and it's the day of love. And Shayla has planned this beautiful that night with him in the hotel, by the way. Um, so she can spend time with her man. And because Amber is living rent free in her head, even during this time, she had to bring her up. You're not going to leave me for Amber, are you? Of course. What else is he going to say? Yeah, sure. I'm about to dump you tomorrow. Of course, he's not going to say that. He's going to play the role because you're giving him what he wants. And she gave him all that she felt she can give, and that was her body. Because, honey, really, other than the child, that's all you've been giving him. Stroking his ego, giving him the pleasure of the body, and catering to his foolishness. But that's more of a fantasy than reality. What would it be like to be with you when you was willing to accept me when I was someone else's? That's one thing about it. You will lose them the way you gained them. So we'll see how this continues to play out with the three of them, uh, probably soon to be four of them. We're gonna see how they're gonna play this angle with Wayne because I truly feel like Wayne still has a deep connection with Amber, and he just wanted her to see if that's who she wanted to be with. That's go ahead because right now my mind is kind of made up. But I don't think he's gonna make the same mistake twice if he allows himself to feel what he felt for her before. What do y'all think? Go ahead and put it in the comments. As always, be your brothers and your sisters keeper. Keep God first. Don't forget to hit that like button, y'all. And happy Valentine's Day.